Hello and welcome to Quartic. This is a series of videos covering CFA Level I, 10 topics in 10 weeks. The intention is to provide you with a brief overview of each topic whilst pointing out areas of significance. Topic number 1 is ethical and professional standards. This topic accounts for 15% of the exam, so is perceived as heavily weighted and is therefore important. It falls under Study Session 1. And the first reading is called Ethics and Trust in the Investment Profession. This reading is a relatively short reading and introduces the notion that ethics should be pervasive in all of our decision-making. CFA Institute has a code and standards which apply to all members and candidates. From this reading, note the difference between legal and ethical behaviour. Some actions may be one and not the other. Also, know the 4-step ethical decision-making framework and be able to apply this to short scenarios. The 4 steps are gathering relevant facts, identifying biases using outside guidance, acting on the decision, and then reflecting with hindsight on the level of success. We've put readings 2 and 3 together here. Reading 2, the Code of Ethics and Standards of Professional Conduct, and reading 3 is titled Guidance for the Standards. Now we put these two together because they account for more than 10% of your entire exam, so too much emphasis cannot be placed on them. Reading 3 actually shows you the applications of the code and standards. You must read the entire Standards of Professional Conduct, and that's Volume 1, that's in Volume 1 of your curriculum. And you must read this a number of times. We advise that you read the code and standards directly from the CFA program curriculum, and you should not rely on summaries. Each standard includes guidance, recommended compliance procedures, and applications, and all are very examinable. Now, you don't need to know the names of each section, but you must be familiar with the content of each section. And exam questions often test the grey areas, those areas at the edge of compliance, so practice every question that you can get your hands on, especially the questions from the CFA program curriculum. And the idea is to make sure you understand the explanations given so that you can answer questions in the real exam. And be prepared for educated guesses, as some of these are not as straightforward as you think they might be. The last 2 readings in Study Session 1 cover the Global Investment Performance Standards, so these are readings 4 and 5. The section describes the background to GIPS, and it provides an outline of the rules surrounding the construction, calculation, and presentation of GIPS-compliant composite performance. Exam questions are more likely to be a bit more straightforward than those questions covering the Standards of Professional Conduct, but when it comes to GIPS, pay attention to the detail. A bit of background reading could be quite useful so that you get to grips with the concepts of a composite, the various calculation methodologies, and performance presentation. And the idea here is, in terms of testing GIPS at Level 1, it's the general compliance that they tend to look at. So knowing that being compliant with GIPS is voluntary, verification as well is not compulsory, but it's recommended, knowing the differences between requirements and recommendations, etc. And although this is a short section, there may be several exam questions on GIPS, so please do not ignore this area. So that's your outline for Study Session 1. So thank you very much for watching. Good luck with your studies. Contact details are on the screen. Please follow us on Twitter @Quartic Training, where you can find more videos. Thank you.